The sun had barely risen above the crowded marketplace when a tired, dust-covered man named Aaron Soltero stood outside the glass doors of Maribella's bakery, staring at the fresh cakes displayed inside. His shirt was worn thin from years of overuse, his shoes mismatched, and his eyes swollen from a night of thinking more than sleeping. Today was his daughter's 8th birthday, and he had nothing, no gift, no candles, not even a handful of coins. But he had one desperate hope, that the bakery might have an expired cake they were about to throw away. Something, anything, he could put a smile on little Rena's face with. If this moment touches even a small part of your heart, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Good Soul, a channel that believes in kindness, hope, and second chances. With trembling hands, Aaron stepped inside. The scent of fresh bread and sugary pastries wrapped around him like a cruel reminder of everything he couldn't give his daughter. He approached the counter quietly, keeping his voice low so no one would notice his embarrassment. He asked the bakery attendant if they might have an expired cake, just one they couldn't sell, one they would throw away, because his daughter deserved to feel celebrated, even if he could not afford it. He didn't realize someone else was listening. Sitting at the far corner of the bakery was Leonis Graver, a man whose crisp suit and polished watch silently announced his wealth long before his chauffeur-driven car outside did. He was a millionaire, known only by his reputation for building companies but rarely for showing emotion. Yet today, for reasons he couldn't explain, he had chosen to stop by this small bakery, the same bakery he used to visit with his late wife years ago, before his heart learned to harden. When he heard Aaron's voice, soft, trembling, and full of fatherly desperation, something inside Leonis cracked open. Aaron continued speaking to the attendant. He explained how Rena used to love strawberry cakes, how she always asked for one with pink frosting, and how since losing his job, he hadn't been able to give her anything special. His voice began to shake when he said he didn't want her to think she was forgotten on her birthday. The attendant stared at him sympathetically but shook her head. There were no expired cakes today. Defeated, Aaron nodded politely, whispered a thank you, and turned away. His eyes glistened with shame as he began walking toward the exit. But before he could reach the door, Leonis's voice echoed across the bakery, asking him to wait. Aaron turned, startled, as the well-dressed man stood and slowly approached him with a calm, unreadable expression. Leonis asked Aaron to tell him about his daughter, and with hesitation but honest love, Aaron described Rena, bright, imaginative, full of life despite the darkness around her. He explained how he had been searching for work every day, taking odd jobs, doing anything he could, but life had been unforgiving. He shared how Rena always tried to hide her worry and told him, "Papa, one day we'll have sunshine again," even when they barely had food. As Aaron spoke, Leonis felt something stir in his chest, a memory of his own wife who used to say the same thing when their days were hard. Without another word, Leonis asked the bakery to prepare their most beautiful cake, the large strawberry one with pink frosting and little sugar flowers. Aaron immediately stepped back, refusing. He said he didn't want charity, only something that would have been thrown away. But Leonis insisted gently, telling him that sometimes the world hands someone a little light, not because they asked for it, but because they deserve to feel seen. Aaron's eyes filled with tears. He hadn't expected kindness, only a chance to salvage his daughter's smile. The bakery box was handed to him, and he couldn't stop staring at it, as if holding a miracle. Leonis then gave him an envelope, not with money, but with something more valuable, a job offer at one of his local companies, starting immediately. He told Aaron that a man who fights so hard for his daughter is exactly the kind of person he wanted on his team. Aaron broke down, covering his face, overwhelmed by the sudden brightness after so much struggle. When Aaron returned home, Rena ran outside barefoot the moment she saw him. Her eyes widened in pure joy as she saw the cake, and she hugged her father tighter than she ever had before. She didn't know what her father had gone through that morning, but she whispered, "I told you the sunshine would come, Papa." And Aaron, smiling through tears, whispered back, "Yes, and it came brighter than I ever imagined." If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Good Soul. Your support helps us bring more real, emotional, and inspirational stories to life. Before you go, comment "Kindness Lives" to spread warmth across the community.